Hey guys, what's going on? It's your boy Skilless-K coming back at y'all from a long overdue hiatus. So guys, if you're wondering where I've been or why I haven't been uploading, it's because, well, one, I've been working on some Yu-Gi-Oh stuff, and two, I've been working on some real life stuff. So I'm not going to get into it. But to make up for the time that I've lost, I'm coming back at y'all with a new rendition of my Orcust deck. If you guys remember before, I was playing with gear suits that I had recently gotten, but this time I'm doing something a little bit different. So let's just hop right into this shit. So starting off with the main deck, of course you're running your one brass bombard and your two simple skeletons. These I feel are the perfect ratio between these two cards respectively. Simple skeleton is a great card to dump off of your nightmares, and brass bombard is a good save card if you need to be able to, if it's like the last card you have in your hand and you need to be able to start off a combo. So honestly, I would not change anything about these two. Moving on, however, to the bigger Orcust related monsters, we of course have two World Wand and triple Nightmare. Now, the reason why I'm not doing even ratios is because you always want at least one of these in your deck, so that way you're able to send it off of your Recycler or your Armageddonite. I am not playing Gear Suit with this variant because this is machina-orcust, believe it or not. And right now I'm still in the dark section of my deck, where I'm going over the dark type or the dark attribute monsters. And sorry guys if you hear my air conditioner going on in the background. Texas has some weird ass weather, and it does not want to let up, even at nighttime. So for our Phantom Knights, of course, mandatory run one cloak and one boot. No real need to explain this. And then a starter Armageddonite. Alright, moving into the scrap slash machina section of the deck. Of course, you're running your triple Recycler with one fridge and one rose. So the only real problem with this is that these two cards are dead in hand. You never want to see these cards in your hand. But that's kind of why I extended the Machina package a little bit to make it bigger. So that's it for the scraps. Moving on to the Machina. Triple Fortress, single Megaform, Irradiator, and Unclasp. Now, I believe that Unclasp is actually really what should have came out alongside the structure deck, or at least in the structure deck for the Machinas, and here's why. Unclasp works very well with one of the new spell cards that they got in the structure deck, being Machina Redeployment. Because with this, you're able to discard one of your Orcust monsters in order to add both a Fortress and an Unclasp to hand. Unclasp will then summon itself because it was added to your hand aside from drawing, and then you can send Megaform to the grave. So that way you can set it up for when you use your Machina Fortress. Now, the only other reasons that one of the reasons why I have Irradiator in here is kind of the same as Redeployment, because you're able to discard a card and start off one of your Orcust combos while you're working in your Machinas. Now, you primarily want to do your Machina combos first, just because Orcust will lock you into dark and you'll be unable to play at all. Also, I really think Unclasp is a really good card, or underrated at the very least. Alrighty. Moving right along to our hand traps. We're only playing 3, but honestly, can you get much better than Ash Blossom? Ash Blossom, in my opinion, is one of the most influential hand traps currently in the meta, in which I don't doubt any of y'all will disagree. But really, Ash is just perfect. It stops a lot of things. It doesn't require a cost in order to play it. And it's a quick effect too, and unlike Gamma, you don't have to have another brick into your deck just to play it. that is it for the monsters. Let me just get these nice and stacked here. Moving on to your spells and traps, we are of course running triple redeployment. This is essentially your rota for the deck. It helps search out your machinas and start off those sets of plays. And then alongside the machina redeployment, you're also running triple Lore Darkness. You do run a substantial amount of dark monsters within the deck, so it is reasonable to play this. And then that's it for your 3-0s. Moving on to your singles, of course, the one Babel, Reborn, Foolish, and Rank Up Magic Launch. Now, the reason why I'm not playing World Legacy Succession is for that to be really successful in this deck, you need to be playing Lib, and that overcomplicates your combos and doesn't make it fast enough, so that way you can actually just go ahead and get to the point of your combos and set up your boards. So I've opted to just run the single monster Reborn. That's it for your spells. Moving on to your traps. It's not nothing special, but 1 Shade, 2 Fog Blade. All you need if you're running Rusty. As well as the rank up magic, but you mainly get this off of either Boots or Cloak. Okay, that is it for the main deck. Moving right along into our extra deck, starting with our Link 4s. Appaloosa, Bow the Goddess, great card to set up if you're going first. I would recommend you do this with your Machina plays because they're able to get out a lot of bodies within the first turn, and you don't have to do a lot of graveyard setup that you would with Orcust. And then also, start using Skull Dread just because it helps this deck out a lot when you're able to make it, because of the fact that you sometimes do need that extra summon just because there are, like, just because you may not be able to go into the full board sometimes with certain hands for this deck. So Star User really does help out. Moving on to our other links, of course, the 1 Rusty, the 1 IP, and the 1 Link Karibo. In my opinion, these 3 are some really good Link monsters for this deck. IP really helps you set up Appaloosa, so that way you can have interruptions on your opponent's turn. Link Karibo can save your life sometimes. And Rusty helps you get to your final board, so you really need this in here, especially since you're running the Found Night stuff, which is kind of a no-brainer. Moving on to our Link 2s, of course, you're running double Galatea, the single Scrap Wyvern, and the Nightmare Phoenix and Unicorn. So the Nightmare Phoenix, spell and trap removal, because while I run Galaxy Cyclone in the side deck, sometimes that's not enough, and I need to be able to make it on the spot. Scrap Wyvern helps with some of your Machina plays. Although I don't play Citadel, this is a good way to help set up your graveyard for both Orcust and Machina. And then Galatea, this is best girl. You need at least 2 of these. You can run 3 if you want, but I normally don't go through more than 2 of them, especially since you're running Simple Skeleton. Moving on to your Xyz monsters. Double Dingirsu, single Calamities, and single Cyber Dragon Nova with the Makava to match up with it. So let me just go ahead and explain this. These 2 are really just for that rogue Dogmatica player. You really want these if they're playing Maximus, because this can set up a really good interruption on your opponent's turn. True King of all Calamities is in here to pair with the rank up magic launch, although I am concerned that it might get hit on the ban list, so I would be looking for a replacement. And then Dingirsu. Well, I mean, I wasn't just gonna leave Dingirsu out of this deck. He's pretty much the fucking poster child of the Orcust deck, alongside Galatea. So if any of y'all have a problem with Dingirsu, y'all can come fight me. But anyway, guys, that is it for my Orcust deck profile. Main issues I have with this deck is that you do need to be running hand traps, and don't get me wrong, while Ash is a very good hand trap, sometimes you need more than that, and that's actually why for the side deck I run stuff like Lancia and Gamma. The only problem I have with Gamma is that it takes up another spot in your deck, and most of the time you're gonna need that one extra body with like Shade. So I would rather not have to resort to Gamma. But overall, if I could change anything, definitely the amount of hand traps. The only reason I'm not running more than 40 cards is because I wanted to keep it nice and short, so that way you aren't having to grind through most of your deck just to get to what you need. And with Orcust and Machina, they do grind through the deck pretty quickly. It's just that you also want to make sure that you don't have too much fluff in the deck where you're just having a bunch of bricks. But things that could help the deck really would probably just be more interruptions on your opponent's turn, because funny enough, one of the decks that this deck actually struggles with is Math Mechs, of all things. Because Math Mechs have Final Sigma, and they're able to spam out multiples of them a turn, and Sigma is immune to card effects, so you can't negate its effects with Calamities or Fogblade. So you would need some way to get around that. Not to mention any damage it deals is doubled, so yeah, it can hurt this deck a lot. But that about wraps up the video, guys. If you enjoyed, please give me a subscribe. If you liked the video, hit that like button, and if you want to see more notifications from my channel, go ahead and hit that notification bell so you get up to date on any Yu-Gi-Oh content or any other gaming content that I happen to put out. And this is just a general question for both the audience and any subscribers who watch. Would you want to see more gaming-like videos? Because I have emulators on my phone that I can play old, like, DS games on. Would you be interested in seeing a Pokemon Platinum game through, or a Pokemon Emerald, or hell, even Legend of Zelda? Would you like to see those? If so, please leave a comment down below. And I wanted to get your guys' approval on this before I just jump my whole thing over to gaming or go more so into Yu-Gi-Oh! So, yeah, that's it for the video. Like I said, subscribe, like, and turn on notifications. I'll see you guys in the next one. See ya out. See ya. Okay, that was kind of stupid. Anyway, bye.